Everyone, welcome back to another edition of Making Tracks. Today, what we're doing is a Burgoynes Cove trip. So this is a combination of a quad ride and a hike. So my good friend Peter Troke is here. We're all off to see this. So what we're going to do, we're going to go down the trailway to Lethbridge, take the forestry access road down to Ocean Pond, turn right there and come out to Burgoynes Cove. It's about 60 odd kilometers. When we get there, we'll start our hike up the hill. So stay tuned. Before we begin, I wanted to give you some background around what we're about to see. In the early 1950s, the USSR and the nuclear threat that it posed was top of mind in the Western world. There were fears of a nuclear attack on North America in general and the United States in particular. The U.S. countered this threat with the development and production of many elaborate weapon systems. The Corps of RB36, which was dubbed the Peacemaker, became the mainstay of the American nuclear deterrent. A technological marvel for its day, the plane could fly 16,000 kilometers from North America to the USSR, drop its nuclear payload, and return without refueling. A reconnaissance version of the plane, known as the RB36, swapped cameras for bombs. The plane was huge by any standard, even today's. It had the longest wingspan of any combat aircraft ever built at 70 meters or 230 feet. And it was powered by 10 engines, 6 piston radials driving 5.8 meter push props, and 4 jet engines, 2 on each side. The story of how the RB36 ended up crashing into the hillside in the Burgoynes Cove in the early morning of March 18, 1953 is a fascinating one. On the previous evening, Captain Jacob Pruitt Jr., Captain Orrin Clark, Brigadier General Richard Ellsworth, and Major Frank Wright, along with 19 other crew members, took off from the Azores. Their destination was their home base in Rapid City, South Dakota. Now, the base has since been renamed Ellsworth Air Force Base, after General Ellsworth, who was killed in the crash. That night's bad weather left them blind to their exact location, and the wind ended up taking them further north above Newfoundland. The plane impacted the east face of the ridge in Burgoynes Cove at 720 feet above sea level, resulting in a huge fireball. No one survived the impact. This particular crash site is unique in that where it was such a large aircraft, so much of it is still there, and you can actually see the aircraft and pick out key components of it. So it makes it a very interesting site to visit. And that is exactly what we'll do here today. Like all these trips, we assume that we start at the mouth of the Shoal Harbour River here in Clarenville. We go up through the Bonavista branch line, up through George Brook Milton, and we cross the highway that goes to Burgoynes Cove. We go down past the Clarenville Airport, cross Route 230, and that will bring you down to Lethbridge. And it's about 24 kilometers down to Lethbridge. As you move in Lethbridge, you'll find a new trail that's 1 kilometer from the road that brings you up to the North Atlantic Dunroven gas station, and take that trail up. So the Dunroven is owned by Wendy and Dion Penny, and they operate this gas station, cabins, and just below, as you saw in the video, some campgrounds. So it's a great place to stop along the way. And in fact, we're going to take that trail just across the road where we're there. Spot. Nice picnic spot is right.
Hi, we just traveled about 70 kilometers from Clarenville, and it took us about 2 hours and 5 minutes. So we traveled down the Bonavista branch line in the forest access road, and here we are now in Burgoynes Cove, right at the base of the hill that takes you up to the crash site. So it's about a 30 to 40 minute walk from here, depending on how fit you are. So come on along and we'll climb up the hill, take a look at the crash site, and pay our respects. Come on and join us.
So the trail going up the hill, it's a little bit steep. You take your time. There's some sit-down areas there as you go along, but it doesn't take too long before you start seeing pieces of the brick. And, well, 30 to 40 minutes. Got to be careful up there. A lot of sharp metal, particularly if you got kids. You don't want to be cutting yourself up there. Here we are in the tail section. You'll notice that there's a number on it. That number is the plane's serial number. You also see some of the metallic parts still have messages on them, production information, safety information, and the like. As you go through the woods, as you walk, you will see various other parts in through this little valley. This is part of the ceiling, more cockpit sections, turrets, and the landing gear. This is the main landing gear. You can see this was a double-wheeled set. There's only one there, and it had literally been cracked in two. There's the fuselage. It's amazing how much of the plane is still there. It's something that you really need to take a look at over a course of a couple hours. Here I've taken the drone up. Peter's up at this monument. There's a monument that was put there by the Search and Rescue Squadron, and it has the names of each of the 23 people who were killed on the flight that awful morning. The contrast is stark between the beauty of the site in which this wreck sits and the wreck itself. Make sure you take an opportunity to go up there on the nicest day possible in order to get the most out of the visit. "2023 will mark the 70th anniversary of this crash. When you do take the opportunity to visit the site, make sure you're respectful of the site and the people who died there. We invite you to come to Clarenville, take the trip via your ATV, or you can drive to the base as well. Take an opportunity. If you have any questions, please let us know, and we thank you for watching and following us along. We'll see you in our next video.